October 18th, City Council meeting. The time is 7:45. Chris Sanella, President. Pursuant to an act extending certain COVID-19 measures signed in by Governor Baker on June 16th, 2021. Extended the remote meeting provisions of this March 12th executive order suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. This meeting of the City Council will be conducted via participation. Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Councillor Eccles. Councillor Garapay.
Here.
Councillor Gregoritis. Councillor Gregoritis? Can you guys hear me?
I can.
I can.
Councillor Gregoritis, can you hear us? I can see your face. Can you nod? No, I don't think she can hear us. Councillor Jamaluddin? Councillor McMaster?
Here.
Councillor Migliarelli?
Here.
Councillor Stewart?
Here.
Councillor Thomas? Looks like he's having some Wi-Fi issues. Councillor Tremontosi?
Here.
President Sanella?
Yeah.
And Councillor Eccles?
Here.
Councillor Gregoritis, can you hear us?
Yes, sorry, something wasn't plugged in. I can hear you.
And present. And
Madam
Councillor
Clerk.
Thomas?
Did you see me, Madam Clerk?
I did. Did I not call you Councillor McNaught?
Here.
Oh, great. Councillor Thomas is in twice. Looks like he's fixing his issues.
Right. Oh, we have a
You give me
quorum.
way too much benefit of the doubt.
Oh, we have twin Thomases. One vote though.
Professor is in.
Without objection, I'd like to approve without reading our October 4th meeting. Objections, those minutes. Without objection, I'd like to open the floor for public comment.
Got a couple people that wish to speak this evening.
Okay.
Colonel Driscoll has notified us that he wishes to speak, so I'm going to try and unmute him now. Colonel Driscoll, can you hear us?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, everybody, yes?
Floor is
Yes.
yours.
Okay, thank you. Good evening. My name is Bob Driscoll. I live at 33 Thurston Road in Melrose. I am a Melrose firefighter and the Secretary Treasurer of Local 1617 for the past 14 years. The contract you'll be voting to fund is very simple. Included are 2 items negotiated for the city and 2 items negotiated for our members. The 2 items for our members were requested at the first bargaining session 18 months ago. They are items the city had already given to other city bargaining units. The fact that it took 18 months and a week away from an arbitration hearing to agree to these terms is not lost on our members. The past 19 months battling COVID has been challenging and difficult for our membership. When a COVID positive citizen needs to go to the hospital, we are the ones who provide the initial care and take them to the emergency room. Many of our members themselves have become COVID positive carrying out their duties. Yet every day, every call, the members of Local 1617 have been there for the citizens of Melrose. The $8.2 million federal dollars provided to the city via the American Rescue Plan spells out how the city may spend the money. One of the options is an allowance of premium pay for first responders. The city has informed us they would not be doing such. This also is not lost on our members. For too many years, the members of Local 1617 have lived in decrepit and dilapidated firehouses. I have taken many of you on the council on tours of our facilities. This past summer, one of the hottest on record, we did not have air conditioning for the better part of a month. While we support the construction of a new library, nothing has been done to the houses we live in, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Until recently, a new committee was announced the day before the library funding vote. This also is not lost on our members. I hope you support this fair contract, and I hope the city soon comes to the realization that their employees are their greatest asset. I thank you for your time.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, or anybody else?
We do. We have Mr. McSweeney. I'm going to make him unmute him now. Mr. McSweeney, can you hear us?
Hi, everybody. Ted McSweeney, 160 West Wyoming Avenue. I just wanted to very briefly speak tonight on Order 2022-41, which is the Signs and Lines program. I know a lot of these grants often get immediate consideration. So on behalf of the Ped Bike Committee, we just wanted to thank Councilor McMaster for his advocacy on behalf of this grant for the Lincoln School, and to say that we support it. It's a small amount of money, and it's not going to be transformative for street safety at the Lincoln School, but it's great for our city to participate in this grant program when the state offers it. In particular, I thought that Councilor McMaster's work, a couple of years ago at this point, he put together a parent community survey to collect feedback from the Lincoln School community on what they saw as challenges and opportunities around street safety at the Lincoln School. He spoke with multiple members of our committee about feedback on that survey, trying to solicit our ideas. He did the same thing. He heard of this grant opportunity, which was recently presented by Judy Crocker, who is our city's Safe Routes rep at the school committee. So I think it's just a great example of community collaboration between elected officials, school communities, advocates, and we just wanted to thank Councilor McMaster for his efforts, and to say that we support the grant. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, anybody else raise the digital hand?
Do not believe anyone else has their hand raised at this time.
All right, if there's no objection, I'd like to now close public comment. Comment is now closed. Madam Clerk, any communications from His Honor Mayor and other city officials? You want to read the orders, Madam Clerk?
We were going to go back to the clerk of committees reading them.
Oh, excuse me.
Order 2022-40, Title 3B Grant Award for fiscal year 2022.
Okay, well, that'll go to the Appropriations Committee.
Order 2022-41, Signs and Lines Program Grant for the Lincoln School.
Councilor McMaster.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'll be seeking immediate consideration, and just by way of proffer to the council, we were notified as a city about this grant just on October 5th with a request to sign the memorandum of understanding on October 15th. We had requested an extension to the Department of Transportation in order to get this matter before the council, as it has to occur. So that's just the reason I'm seeking immediate consideration, as there's urgency in terms of accepting this grant.
Any objection to immediate consideration? Seeing none, this order is now before us. Councilor McMaster, did you want to speak further on?
Just very briefly, Mr. President, before we turn it over, I believe, to Ms. Reese, the city engineer who's here. I'm thankful to the mayor for prioritizing this and working in collaboration with me, as well as with the Ped Bike Committee. As you heard, they offered input throughout the way. Principal St. George at the Lincoln School, the Lincoln School PTO. As Mr. McSweeney said, this really was a collaborative effort among various stakeholders, and a good opportunity for the city to improve the roadway there at the Lincoln school corridor. So at this time, Mr. President, I'm happy to turn it back to you to call on Ms. Reese to provide more information.
Sure. Then if there's no objection at this time, I would like to suspend our rules so we can hear from Ms. Reese. Seeing there's no objection, our rules are now suspended.
Bringing her in now as a panelist.
Thank you. Good evening.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, yep.
Okay, great. So this program, the Signs and Lines program, is Its focus is for safety around schools and accessibility for walkers, bikers, and people who use other modes of transportation besides cars. It's a very fast-hitting program. I spoke to Diane Hansen today, who's the administrator of the program. The way it works is once we sign the letter of the memorandum of understanding, Mass DOT will put together a team of people to come out and walk the site and look at what our ideas were for the site and also maybe come up with some other ideas for the site. And they will actually put together a plan, including a set of plans for construction. And the goal is to get something out and constructed in the spring. We need to complete all the work by June 30th, so it has to happen this fiscal year. But it's very feasible. What we're proposing is mostly line painting, so signage on the street itself, warning of the approaches to the school, and getting drivers to slow down a little bit as they approach that zone, and make it safer, like I said, for walkers and bikers coming to the school. So I'd be happy to answer any questions anybody has about the program.
I didn't see any hands go up. Did I miss anybody? Does anybody have any questions? Not seeing
Motion
any.
for passage, Mr. President.
Second.
Passage made by Councilor McMaster, seconded by Councilor Eccles. Any discussion? Seeing none. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Counselor Eccles,
Yes.
Counselor Garapay,
Yes.
Counselor Gregoritis,
Yes.
Counselor Jamaluddin,
Yes.
Counselor McMaster,
Yes.
Counselor McNaught,
Yes.
Counselor Migliarelli,
Yes.
Counselor Stewart,
Yes.
Counselor Thomas,
Yes.
Counselor Tremontosi,
Yes.
President Sanella,
Yes.
11 yes.
Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Reese.
Thank you.
Good evening. Mr. Clerk.
Order 2022-42, an appropriation in the amount of $317,693 from the Contract Stabilization Fund. Count 84042-590000 to the Fire Department salary and wage and overtime accounts. Account 012211-511000 and account 012211-513000. These funds are for 1 year, fiscal year 21, and year 2, fiscal year 22, of the recently executed 3-year collective bargaining agreement.
Thank you. That will go to the Committee on Appropriations.
Order 2022-46, an appropriation in the amount of $46,863 from the ambulance retained earnings, account number 84182-590000 to the ambulance enterprise salary and wage and overtime accounts. Account 650051-511000 and account 650051-513000. These funds are for year 1, fiscal year 21, and year 2, fiscal year 22 of the recently executed 3-year collective bargaining agreement.
That'll go to the Appropriations Committee.
Order 2022-43, application of Abd Nasir M. Ahmed, DBA Galmdug Incorporated for a Hackney carriage license, 1 cab at Essex Street Stand.
That'll go to Protection and License.
Order 2022-44, livery car service licenses renewed commencing May 1st, 2021.
That'll go to protection and license. New business. Order 2022-45, an order seeking information on the administration's proposal to create a permanent bike lanes on Lower Main Street, sponsored by Councilor Sean McMaster. And that'll go to Public Works. Any orders of order? Seeing none. We have some orders from committee. Start with Councilor Migliarelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'd like to motion to pull up from committee, the Finance Committee, Order 2022-39, approval by the Melrose City Council of the city's ward and precinct boundaries and map as enumerated herein in accordance with the Massachusetts General Laws, Chapter 54, Sections 1 and 2, and the 2020 U.S. Census population data. This comes to the committee, to the council with no recommendation.
Motion to move this out of committee, 2022-39, made by Councilor Migliarelli. And seconded by Councilor Grigoritis. Any discussion on pulling this out of committee? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Eccles,
Yes.
Counselor Garapay.
Yep.
Counselor Gregoritis,
Yes.
Counselor Maladine,
Yes.
Counselor McMaster,
Yes.
Counselor McNaught,
Yes.
Counselor Migliarelli,
Yes.
Counselor Stewart,
Yes.
Counselor Thomas,
Yes.
Counselor Trementozzi,
Yes.
President Sanella,
Yes,
11 yes.
thank you. So this order is now before us. What is the will of the committee? Has the committee changed its mind? Discussion on the order. Councilor Migliarelli.
Thank you, Mr. President. Just to kind of brief the council members who were not on the meeting on Thursday night, we had Mike Owens, the Community Engagement Director for the Secretary of State's office, to speak to the Finance Committee. And Mr. Owens in that meeting went over the detailed description of how the Secretary of State's office used the 2020 census data to reconfigure ward boundaries. And they had abided by the following guidelines: that no precinct can be above 4,000 residents, and that each precinct has to be within 5% of an average precinct size. The Secretary of State's office urged the council to turn in the map as soon as possible so that they can then in turn hand over what they call the shape file to the legislature for them to see the locally approved maps and try to conform their districts appropriately. Beyond that, Mr. Owens had stated that the map provided by the state is not, quoting him, not a suggestion. And this is something that we should act on as soon as possible. So for that reason, I'll be motioning for passage. Second.
Motion made for passage made by Councilor Migliarelli, seconded by Councilor Grigoritis. Is there any additional discussion? Councilor McMaster.
Thank you, Mr. President. I plan to just rest on the comments that I made at the Finance Committee, not say anything further on the map itself. I did want to say that presumably if this does pass the council tonight to the residents of the current Ward 5, that I'm committed to working with Councilor Stewart and the incoming councilor of Ward 7 to help transition any issues that are ongoing in Ward 5. Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilor. Any other comments, questions? See none. Oh, Councilor Grigoritis.
Thank you, Mr. President. I'll just expand on what Councilor McMaster said. I believe all 7 wards will see some shifts in where their ward lines are drawn. Certainly the most significant is Ward 5, where that's where we've had the bulk of our population growth. But I'm sure that this body, those of us who will be continuing to serve, those of us who will be stepping down, and those that will be joining us in January are committed to making sure that all residents of the city of Melrose know who their representatives are and know how to access us and how to seek assistance from the city. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else on discussion? Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Eccles,
Yes.
Counselor Garapay.
Yes.
Counselor Gregoritis,
Yes.
Counselor Schmaladine,
Yes.
Counselor McMaster,
No.
Counselor McNaught,
Yes.
Counselor Migliarelli,
Yes.
Counselor Stewart,
Yes.
Counselor Thomas,
Yes.
Counselor Trementosi,
Yes.
President Sanella,
Yes.
and yes.
We have another order, Counselor Garapay.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to make a motion to pull up from Protection and Licensing Order 2022-36, the appointment of Tim Bailey, 62 Glen Street, to the Planning Board for a 5-year term, the term to expire on the last day of February 2026.
Second.
Counselor Garapay is motioning to pull 2022-36 out of committee, seconded by Counselor Eccles. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, could you please call the roll?
Counselor Eccles,
Yes.
Counselor Garapay,
Yes.
Counselor Gregoritis,
Yes.
Counselor Schmaladine,
Yes.
Counselor McMaster,
Yes.
Counselor McNaught,
Yes.
Counselor Migliarelli,
Yes.
Counselor Stewart,
Yes.
Counselor Trementosi, Thomas,
Quite okay. Yes.
Counselor Trementosi,
Yes.
President Sanella,
Yes.
11 yes.
Okay, that's now out of committee and before us. Counselor Garapay.
Thank you, Mr. President. At this time, I'd like to make a motion for passage. This comes from Protection and Licensing with a favorable recommendation. So I make that motion at this time.
Second.
Passage made by Counselor Garapay, seconded by Counselor Thomas. Any discussion? Seeing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Eccles,
Yes.
Counselor Garapay.
Yes.
Counselor Gregoritis,
Yes.
Counselor Schmaladine,
Yes.
Counselor McMaster,
Yes.
Counselor Migliarelli,
Yes.
Counselor Stewart,
Yes.
Counselor Thomas,
Yes.
Counselor Trementosi,
You forgot Councilor McNaught, but yes. I think you forgot him.
Counselor McNaught.
Yes.
Sorry about that. President Sanella. Thank you, Counselor Trementosi.
Yes.
11 yes.
So do we have anything to report under Rule 53? Counselor Eccles.
There's going to be a traffic commission meeting between now and our next meeting where the Lower Main Street, South Main Street project will be reviewed. The time is TBD, but it will be able to be accessed virtually, and it will be on Thursday, October 28th.
Okay, thank you. Anything else to report under Rule 53? None? Anything else you guys want to talk about? The Red Sox? Motion to adjourn at this time?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Motion to adjourn made by Counselor Garapay, seconded by Counselor Stewart. Clerk, please call the roll.
Counselor Eccles,
Yes.
Counselor Garapay,
Yes.
Counselor Gregoritis,
Yes.
Counselor Schmaladine,
Yes.
Counselor McMaster,
No.
Counselor McNaught,
Yes.
Counselor Migliarelli,
Yes.
Counselor Stewart,
Yes.
Counselor Thomas,
Yes.
Counselor Trementosi,
Yes.
President Sanella,
Yes.
10 yes.
Go Sox. Have a good evening.
Hi, John.